Hey guys, before we get into our episode today, we want to share with you a super quick giveaway, chump giveaway that we're going to be doing. Taylor, what are we giving away?
Well, as you guys know, we've been going through our series, The Adventures of the Apostles, which has been largely informed by Sean McDowell's work, his published dissertation, The Fate of the Apostles. So we're looking to give away a copy of that to one of you guys.
That is so exciting. If you want to enter, all you have to do is follow us at Church History for Chumps, either on Instagram or Facebook. You can share the story and then tag a friend in the comments. And for every comment you get an additional entry.
That's right. You can enter as many times as you want. And John, when are we giving it away?
We're going to be starting in the next couple of weeks as soon as the post is live. And then we're going to be picking our winner on November 1st. Also, All Saints Day. Feels very appropriate, doesn't it?
I love it, John. Well, let's get back to the episode.
You bet. Hey everybody, welcome to Church History for Chumps. My name is John Simon, or as they call me in the streets, Mr. Borkovich. We've got Taylor, Kim, Jong-un.
You changed my name in Riverside?
And we've got the monk who likes to funk. Thomas, I almost called you Thomas Treadway. Thomas Duell. How you guys doing? I did change your nickname.
I got a little funky beat in my head, like a little. Yeah.
You know, the Funky Monk is a restaurant here in town. Have you guys ever been there?
Yeah, I've never been there. Sick once. Burgers.
Really?
Yeah, dude. Okay. It's good. Yeah. It's the best the East Side has to offer.
John, what's your favorite restaurant in Tucson?
Oh, geez.
Nico's.
I just cribbled him.
What? What's the opportunity? Well, am I like showing somebody around town?
No, John wants to go to his favorite restaurant, either with Annie.
It's your birthday. Annie says
you pick, or by himself.
You pick.
Oh, it's my birthday.
Yeah, it's your birthday. Where are you going?
That sounds fun. Man,
Cheesecake Factory,
Texas Roadhouse.
You know what? I'm just gonna go with my safe option because this is the thing that I will get when Annie goes out to like hang out with her friends and they're having like a birthday celebration.
That's what we're talking
about. I go to Alafia. I get the red sauce chicken with the white rice and the double hot sauce, and it's a West African place. It's like a tomato broth with like crispy fried chicken in it, and the hot sauce is like habanero based, so it's like gonna punch you in the gut. But it's so freaking tasty, dude. I could eat that every day. It's so good.
I desperately miss, for all the listeners, there's a little restaurant in Tucson. There's 3 of them. There's one on the east side. There's one midtown, and there's one up near Tommy's house. And it's called Beyond Bread.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right.
I wish I had a Beyond Bread across the street.
Those bread bowls?
No, dude, everything. The sandwiches.
What's your go-to there?
The Bart's Bag, baby.
Oh, isn't that the one that's like the ciabatta that's like glass?
Yes, dude. No, I asked a friend once.
Parm in a bag.
I asked a friend once many years ago. I said, "Do you like the Bart's Bag?" And he said, "No, Taylor. I don't like to feel like my jaw just had a workout eating a sandwich."
No, dude. It's like that SNL skit with Dan Aykroyd, and he's like, yeah, we've been told that a lot of our kids' toys are not safe, so we'd like to introduce you to Bag of Glass. And he just holds up a bag. Like, that's what that freaking sandwich is, dude. I do not like it.
It's the best. Tommy, what's your favorite local spot?
Recently, it's been Tuk Tuk Thai.
Ooh, dude.
They do like
because they opened one on your side of town, right?
There is one in Royal Valley, but I like going to the one on Campbell.
Dude, I like that place a lot.
Yeah, dude.
It's a great. It's ever since a really good Thai place downtown closed up shop. That's been my go-to Thai spot. Yep. They've got pumpkin curry. It's so good.
So how Thai is it? Like when you walk in, does it look cool? Or is there like a 7-year-old
No.
behind the counter and like half
It's
the
not
lights,
7-year-old
half,
no.
half the lights are off because they
I'm
haven't
pretty
changed
sure-
the bulbs?
I'm pretty sure all the waitresses are sisters or aunts.
Okay,
So I feel like it's
they're
pretty
getting it.
tie.
Yeah.
Yeah. The pad kee mao and then the holy basil beef with rice or fried rice with beef.
Oh,
And
dude!
then
Shout out to Basil the Great.
Their mango sticky rice is
Mm.
pretty goated.
Oh, that sounds good.
man. Okay.
I gotta say though, where we're at in California, the Inland Empire is just got a ton of Asian immigrants.
Oh, that sounds so
Mhm.
good.
And so there's a Chinese place near us, and when we first started going,
It's called gout to you.
no, it's called Mr. Dumpling. We would go in, and I don't know how much English any of the people that worked there spoke. I don't think it was much. And it is just so good, and it is affordable. They have since hired a lovely man by the name of Steven, Steven lived in Canada, so he's got a lot of English.
He's like your translator. He's helping you broaden your.
He's super westernized, and so you come in, and he's like smiling and waving. Okay, look, this is how awesome Steven is, and this also betrays how much my wife and I go to the shopping center because there's a pho place we like right there and a sushi place. We're there almost every week for something. Anyway, if we walk by because we're going to go to the boba spot, but we're not going to get the Chinese food, Steven's like standing inside and like waves at us as we walk past. That's what we got out here, boys, in California.
I love it. I love that you're a local in California. That's so good.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
I love
You've been there for like 2 years.
Yeah, 2 years. It's home now. I love the IE, man. I still have not been to LA.
I think that's probably okay.
Well, it's probably why I'm still alive.
Yeah, dude, LA just, I don't know, the stress of the traffic and everything being so busy. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
would
know if
move
it's
there
worth
if I
it.
had a helicopter for sure.
Yeah.
Just fly over everybody.
The trick
all the
to
ports.
being happy in California is living
It's helicopter.
where you work and going to church where you live. If you can keep it,
Living. Hold on. That was like
Yeah.
That was like a Confucius say. Living where you. I hate to write that. Living where you.
yeah, it's
Praying.
live where you work, go to church where you live. And if you are never having to deal with traffic, you get all the weather, all the awesome, food and multicultural experience. Because that
Do you like walk or bike to a decent bit of stuff?
it depending on where. No. But it's like 10 miles. It's like everything's within like 10 miles. Everything's within 10. Actually, we don't even
10 miles. Dude, that's like an hour and a half.
I would say 5 minutes. Everything's 5
I know
miles.
about living in California. It's keep your circle small. You keep your circle small. Do you ever walk or bike? Not really.
that small.
Not really, but I'll like drive, like I'll only put like half a tank of gas in a drive.
Nah, dude,
you know?
we spend less than 10 minutes on average getting to different locations.
Well, that's not too bad.
No,
that's not too bad.
Like a far drive
For
for us is like
California.
a 15-minute. We're like, dang, that's kind of far.
What's the name of the city you live in?
It's called Ontario. IE represent.
Okay.
Yeah. Well,
That's
boys,
exciting.
they said it would never happen.
They said it would never end.
They said
And
we
here we
couldn't
are.
do it. And we proved them wrong.
That's right.
We are on poly oxen free.
Mm.
Big P.
Oh shoot, we're not yet though, because I have a sonnet to read,
All
which
right.
is not a sonnet. It's really just 6 bars. So here's the thing. I listened to a really great radio episode of like the first hip hop group that ever got me interested in hip hop music. It's a very, very underground Christian hip hop group called Deep Space 5. If you've ever heard of them, I'll donate to your Buy Me a Coffee if you've ever heard of them. But I listened to them, and it made me just like, it was like, and it's funny because me and Taylor have joked about having a rap group, which we technically did many, many years ago.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's all these like late 40s dudes who were just talking about how they used to be, they were like, their heyday was going to like Christian conferences in the 90s and like, playing at festivals to like 30 people. Like they were just like, we knew we were never going to be big, but we just loved the game. We just loved hanging with the boys. We just loved rapping and ciphering and having a good time and talking about Jesus. And I was like, gosh dang it, I wish I took this rap freaking thing more seriously. So I was like, all right, I'm going to write a rap about this guy, Jeremiah, who gave us money through our Buy Me a Coffee. It's 6 bars long.
Jeremiah did not just give us money. He subscribed.
Yes. So this is not a haiku. It's technically 2 lines longer than a haiku. It would have been longer, but I wanted everything to be good. So this is like a sonnet, but it's not. I wanted to write it like a rap verse because I wanted to see if I still got it. And I don't know if I do, but we'll see. So Jeremiah, thank you for your gift. No, absolutely not. Please, that'll make this so much. That'll make this so much worse. I know you're gonna play like, right, like Till I Collapse by Nate Dogg and Eminem instrumental off your phone, and I don't. Do that. So Jeremiah, thank you for the recurring gift. This is for you. Here we go. Weeping Jeremiah, liar, liar, pants on fire. Doing donuts in the church parking lot, got burning tires. Rocking Technicolor threads with a medium teal. Your boy is hotter than the spokes inside Ezekiel's wheels. Got a $2 bill and a 10. That's my apostle cash. Praising though they slay me when I'm suffering like some succotash. That's all I got.
Dude, that was like significantly better than Will Smith's little recent comeback rap. People ask me how I do it. I take a bite and chew it.
He said, I took the pin out the grenade before I threw it. And it's like, what are you talking about? That was really cringy. It was really bad.
That Ezekiel's wheels line was pretty.
That was my favorite.
Jeremiah, I hope you like your first chump rap, brother. Thank you for the gift.
First of many more, hopefully.
I have seen a video that I think includes at least John. I don't know about Taylor, and I think Bobby Bowman that I feel like should be released on the CH4C. No. But
Taylor was instrumental in this. If you're talking about what I think you're talking about.
Yeah, somebody's got to donate like $500 or something though.
You have to find it before you hold it hostage.
Brother, I have it. It's not going.
Wait. Is it the Jurassic Park rap?
Oh, dude, it's been safe and snug in my archives for years, brother.
Should we have a donation?
I could pull it off of Facebook if I wanted to.
Have a donation goal for it.
That would be fun. I mean, yeah,
that's so vain. We're not going to do that
for it.
I will say this though.
What's up?
We're super grateful for everybody that donates. If you feel inclined to donate, no, we don't pocket any of the money. We're just putting it towards production costs, future growing possibly. I'd like for us to get to a point where we can launch t-shirts. I think that'd be awesome. Sick. So maybe. And then
full disclosure, our goal really is just to be self-sustaining as a podcast. So that's basically, if we can get enough coming in to cover the bills of what we're paying to host the podcast, to record on Riverside, to have our lovely editor Ray to take care of all the editing, then that frees us up to do more fun stuff. And we're making progress because you guys are wonderful.
That's right.
But
we're grateful.
It's gonna take a little bit of time.
So and then follow us on Instagram or Facebook. You can engage with us there. John handles the IG. I handle the Facebook. So you can shoot us questions about show episodes. We are not big enough yet that we can't handle that, right? We pretty much
we are not.
We pretty much get to interact with every DM. And then lastly, remember to get your votes in, boys and girls, for what series you want us to do next. As the plane lands on the patristic era, we are looking for a new horizon, and that horizon can be Great Awakenings in America. It could be the Crusades, or it can be post-patristics, rise of the Catholic Church. So
That's right.
get your votes in.
Get them in. And there's a couple things I want to shout out just because we got some really cool comments this past week. First was Jackson. I know I already commented this, but the CH4C group chat got some lols when you referred to Eusebius's stories as DLC, because that's hilarious. That's really good. Elliot shared a story, or shared that in London there is a church called St. Bartholomew's, and they have a sculpture of him skinless and holding out his skin and the knife that skinned him, which
I've seen that.
So freaking cool.
That's crazy.
That is the most metal thing. I haven't yet, no. Dude, but Elliot, thank you for sharing that, dude. That's awesome.
I'm gonna show you right now.
Yeah, pull it up. Yeah, LM.
Jamie, pull up the tape.
LM said he's down for a Mr. Borkovich shirt, which is great, 'cause that's the best. He also said that he would love a shirt that said "I roll to attack the fat hippie," which is a deep
dude. LM, I love it.
Oh, that is so freaking sick. That's so cool.
Wow,
man, that is awesome.
Wow. And
then our buddy Anthony shared, and this is a great little historical nugget that I didn't know. He said regarding India, it gets confusing because in the Roman period, often when people use the term India, it's sometimes used for Ethiopia. So, for example, in the historical accounts about Frumentius, the Ethiopian patriot, Rufinus repeatedly says that Frumentius was enslaved and became a bishop in India rather than Ethiopia. So I didn't fact check that because Anthony sounds like someone who knows what he's talking about. But if so, wild. Thanks for sharing, bro. That's
good.
Really cool.
Look at that.
India just can't get away with being called places that it's not. Like, what is it about India,
I don't know,
That's
man.
crazy.
It's confusing.
Anyways,
super grateful for all of you guys, but yes, they said it couldn't be done.
Mm-hmm.
But here we are. Just go right back into my cold open. And I prematurely launched. They said we'd never get here. They doubted. And yet here we are, boys. The final episode of the Adventures of the Apostles. What a long, strange, and honestly disappointing journey it's been. So we're going to be talking about Paul tonight, and maybe we'll be disappointed. I don't know. I have no idea.
Turns out Paul's not real, kids. He's just like Santa Claus. Oh, no. There was no Paul.
In my research, I definitely opened a Bart Ehrman book.
Oh my!
Hey,
I will, man. When the time comes to share my research story, I will, and you will all laugh at me and or cry with me because
no. What I've heard is that Bart is a good historian. He's just not a great commentator, right?
Well, he's just like an anti-Christian apologist, but he's not a bad guy, and like he's respectful. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, he's nice.
Like he's just because he researched it doesn't mean it's invalid. It's just his. The conclusions he comes to because of his viewpoints are not always kosher. As
my heart went out to him a little bit when he was on Colbert, and like he's just getting, I think it's with Colbert, and he's getting just annihilated by Colbert, who's a Catholic and
smart.
Yes, real and smart. He tries to throw an olive branch and make a joke. Ehrman does, and he's like. He's like, Jesus actually did claim to be divine at one point. He said, remember, he says in the Gospels, I am divine, you are the branches. And Colbert just like deadpans him, just like lets him hang. It's, I was like, oh, this poor guy.
It's rough. Trying. Well, Ehrman doesn't get quoted tonight. He almost did. I almost gave him credit because he almost had what I was looking for in his book. But alas, we'll get to that later.
All right.
So as you guys know, we're doing the giveaway. It's going to be wrapping up about the time you're hearing this episode. So if you want to enter the giveaway for Sean McDowell's Fate of the Apostle book, which is what we've been utilizing, go ahead and you can comment on Facebook or Instagram that you want to enter. You can share the post and you can tag anybody in the reel, and as many people as you tag counts as how many entries you have. So we're really excited to do our first giveaway, and you can get a copy of that signed by yours truly, not Sean McDowell. Signed by me.
By Taylor Treadway.
Signed by me. So anyway, This is chapter 6, the big guy, Paul. So what do we know about Paul? It's a lot.
Not much, actually.
Not much.
Fisherman, I believe.
Oh my,
Fisherman.
that's his answer now. Fisherman. Because he got lucky once.
No, he was well connected as a Pharisee. He was involved in persecuting the church. We believe he was present at Stephen's martyrdom. Had the road to Damascus moment, struck blind by Jesus and convicted and called to repent and follow him. Kicked it in Saudi for a few years, learning, and then started his ministry. And then did a lot of acts.
He did a lot of acts, and he wrote a lot.
Wrote
Paul
big stuff.
is by far the most influential human on the Christian church. He's probably
Maybe of all time.
Yeah, of all time. He's probably the
Talking
most
full human.
Yes,
Only
full human, not divine. Thank you, John. So
Just I don't ask.
just clarify, just make sure. Yes. So aside from Jesus, Paul definitely had the most impact. He might be the most read, not well read. I'm assuming he was well read for, what they had access to, but probably the most read person of all time. Yes. We could spend like 15 podcast episodes just talking about everything that he did, and then we could spend another 12 years doing podcasts on just what he wrote and talking about it. But we're just going to say, listen to a good sermon from your pastor on an epistle, get some good edification. But for today, we want to look at what's the tradition claim for Paul.
I do have one biographical question on Paul that I'm wondering if you know, Taylor, or if either of you guys know. I feel like I've never had total clarity on, and I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the internal evidence in the Bible is, but I feel like it's thrown around a lot that Paul actually murdered Christians. Like that's just an assumption that people have a lot, and I'm not totally sure if that's the case.
That's not scripturally. That's not scripturally supported. You could say that him rounding them up led to murder. So he had a list of people that he was coming to get on his way to Damascus.
What explicitly was his role?
He was
The
a member of
Grand
the
Inquisitor.
Sanhedrin.
But yeah, I mean, was he like a? Yeah, I guess was he like a? What did he hold? Like was this a political position, or was it like some proto law enforcement? Like what did he do?
Well, no. So the Sanhedrin was basically sending around guys to shut down this newfangled heresy of Christianity. Well, they didn't call it that.
Okay, so he was like part of the Judaic inner circle.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, he was.
Okay.
He was. He was the Pharisee.
And I think the Romans liked it when they policed their own, so he probably had a lot of leeway to kind of do his own thing.
Very good point.
He was
That's a
super
really good point.
Hellenized. He was super Hellenized. So like this guy.
I thought you said he was super hella nice. I was like, that's such an unnecessarily cool way to say that. Dude, he was super hella nice. It's like, all right, California has really changed you, bro.
No, it hasn't. That's still me. So anyway, yeah, that's a good question. It's a good question, Tommy. No blood directly on his hands that we know of. But what do we know? What's the tradition claim?
For his death?
For his death.
Decapitated, I think.
Yep.
In Rome.
Under Nero?
You guys are good. That's it. Decapitated in Rome under Nero. So we have 3 specific claims we have to investigate, don't we, boys?
Sure do.
We have to look at decapitation, we have to look at Rome, and we have to look at under Nero. Now, we looked at Peter, who was also killed in Rome under Nero, and we came to the conclusion that he was most likely not crucified upside down because of some common sense argument. Well, one was outside the window of living memory, and then also the common sense of the Romans weren't like particularly interested in the last rites of those they were about to publicly execute and shame.
Wait, hold on. One request, please. Just one request.
Oh, hey, boss, this guy actually wants to go upside down. Is that, yeah, just that's fine. Yeah, take him. That's okay. No, but let's see where we land. So the mission work is what we've also been looking at, and we have a ton of scriptural references for mission work. I mean, he went everywhere. He planted churches all over. That was actually his shtick. He kind of left Peter to handle the Jews. And Paul, interestingly enough, being so Jewish himself, was, you get the sense in the narratives that he's kind of like tired of it, right? You read Romans, he's kind of saying like, Jews, stop holding yourself so above everybody, because they're grafted into the same thing that we are. He got super mad when Peter had communion split up. So Paul was, even though he was like the Pharisee of Pharisees, his Gentiles and church planting and evangelism was his priorities. The last thing I'll say about what we see in scripture that I love is when Paul just shows up to the marketplace. And I just picture him like he's got his backpack on, you know, it's a nice day outside. And he's just super happy. And he just looks at these philosophers and he goes, you see that empty space that you have? Who's that to? And they're like, it's the unknown God. And then Paul proceeds to go, I know him and I'm going to tell you about him. And I don't know. It's just something likable about him. He's a bold guy. He's a fiery guy. But yes, tradition does claim that he was martyred. He was killed in Rome under Nero. So let's talk here as I flip through my notes.
So I'm gonna say, as you're noting right now, I'm nervous about this one because
I think you should be.
I am like legitimately, because a lot of the narrative, I think, is it 2 Timothy that's considered Paul's last letter?
Yep.
That may or may not. Yeah. Okay. So I've basically read that under the shadow of this is him writing from prison, knowing that he's not likely to get out and that he's probably done so. So I've read a lot and I've heard a lot of pastors preach some of Paul's writings as in the shadow of his martyrdom. So
I think Philippians is like that too.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to say that, like, I think it'll hit a little bit more differently if you're like, actually, Paul, you know, went to, you know, Antioch after this, where he got married and lived a nice life of just preaching the gospel quietly. Like that would probably hit a little sideways for me. I'm not going to fight it because I've learned that this series isn't about me. It's about history.
So if you show up, it's funny you mentioned 2 Timothy. So if you show up to the SBL, which is the Society for Biblical Literacy or something like that, that meets after ETS, immediately after, which is the Evangelical Theological Society, which is where a lot of our heroes will attend and present. But the SBL guys are like way more liberal. And you ask them who wrote 2 Timothy, and most of them will say, definitely not Paul. So 2 Timothy
is dead.
No, they'll say it's contested. And so there's a whole textual argument in there.
Interesting.
But we believe it's written by Paul because we inherited a canon from our church fathers, didn't we?
That is interesting.
Yes. So, okay. We don't have direct scriptural evidence for Paul. You beat me to it. The first part of my notes. Good job. So, yeah. So you got 2 Timothy, the end of it. He's definitely, you know, he's in prison in 2 Timothy, and he's anticipating his own death. So join me, if you will, dear readers, in 2 Timothy 4. 2 Timothy 4, and I'll be reading from the ESV. Don't join me if you're driving. That's a bad idea.
The Lord will protect you. Go ahead and open up that app.
Oh,
just play the audio version.
I am the audio version. For I am already being poured out as a drink offering, and the time of my
didn't say what
departure.
verse we're starting at.
Verse 6. Sorry.
Thank you.
I love that you're following along. That means a lot.
I am, bro.
For I am already being poured out as a drink offering, and the time of my departure has come. I have fought the good fight. I finished the race. I've kept the faith. Henceforth, there is laid up for me the crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, will award to me on that day. And not only to me, but also to all who have loved his appearing. So he's pretty convinced it's ending, right?
Yeah.
Sounds that way.
Yeah, and that McDowell says this on page 115. This passage is regarded as one of the most explicit references in the New Testament to Paul's awareness of his looming martyrdom.
Sure.
So,
which, to be fair, like, he could be thinking that he's going to die and still not die. Like this, the world doesn't end if he doesn't die here. It just seems to be pointing in that direction.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So, are you going to talk about the end of Acts at all?
Well, I was looking at the time and I want to get into some other stuff, but we can talk about end of Acts.
I just have a quick comment to make on it that I heard once that Luke and Acts are basically the same length, because what you had is like whatever the maximum amount of like paper that you could have on like one scroll, essentially. Luke had mapped out both his gospel and the book of Acts like perfectly, so he knew exactly what he wanted to fit into each of those. He used every inch of the page essentially. And the way the book of Acts ends, after he's had his final dispute with the Jews, it says in the last two verses of Acts, and he stayed 2 full years in his own rented quarters and was welcoming all who came to him, preaching the kingdom of God and teaching concerning the Lord Jesus Christ with all openness, unhindered. I think the part that stands out to me is the 2 full years comment, which means that whoever wrote that knew what happened. Well, Luke, who wrote that, knew what happened after. Like he knew, like he ends the story with a 2-year kind of marker there at the end, but he doesn't say what happens next, which to me seems like a graceful way of just leaving out Paul's martyrdom at the end of that.
Yeah, well, it's good you noted that, and you have to ask, what was Luke's intention in writing Acts? Is it a biography of Paul? Well, no,
right?
It's not.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it's like it's not important for his story here,
right? I'll quote McDowell again. This is McDowell. The purpose of Acts has been accomplished. Luke ends the narrative. Acts is not a biography of Paul, a tribal brief, or a martyrdom account, but a historical account of the spread of the church from Jerusalem to Rome. So, since the gospel has reached Rome, it could now be spread everywhere. So that's a pretty easy answer. I think it's a fair like layman question to be like, okay, well, if Luke knew what happens to Paul, why doesn't he write it? Well, it wasn't his goal.
Because it wasn't the point of the book.
It wasn't his goal. Yeah. And actually, you could even probably say the absence of it proves that Luke did not want to highlight it and take away from the main point of his writing. Now, we have a ton of stuff on Paul within the window of living memory, which is the review. Who knows what the window of living memory is?
Something has to be written within a lifetime of the event.
Yeah, pretty much. Yep.
Boom.
So we have our earliest is First Clement, which, if you guys remember, is end of 1st century. And he mentions Paul in chapter 5. Because of jealousy and strife, Paul pointed the way to the prize for endurance. 7 times he bore chains. He was sent into exile and stoned. He served as a herald in both the East and the West, and he received the noble reputation for his faith. He taught righteousness to the whole world and came to the limits of the West, bearing his witness before the rulers. And so he was set free from this world and transported up to the holy place, having become the greatest example of endurance. So Clement's like, Paulie's our boy.
Yeah.
And he died. And he gave us a great example as he died. So that's Clement writing in the end of the first century. So that's super, super.
And a guy who probably was in Rome, too.
Correct. He would have been very familiar with the, the history. I don't even want to say legend because he would have been very familiar with the history because if he was not at his execution, he probably knew a ton of people that were, right?
Yeah. First-hand account.
If the execution happened. If. So, there's McDowell notes that 1 Clement 6:1 provides a clue as to when their deaths occur, because remember, we are also investigating the time period because the Neronian persecution is a specific claim. So, so he says, to these who have conducted themselves in such a holy way, there's been added a great multitude of the elect who have set a superb example among us by the numerous torments and tortures they suffered because of jealousy. And so this is where McDowell's doing his thing. And he says that great multitude is almost identical in wording to Tacticus, reference to vast numbers who were killed by Nero.
Okay.
See, that's the kind of stuff that I will never find in my own research. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's so good and specific, and I will never find it. And that's why we're grateful for smart people.
That is full-time research right there.
That is full-time research.
That man's using his library
Taylor
card.
almost had a mental breakdown trying to find something today in part-time research after dinner before recording. So, yeah. Okay. Ignatius is next. He mentions Paul twice. Letter to the Romans, chapter 5. He says, I know who I am and to who I am writing. I am condemned. You have been shown mercy. I am in danger. You are secure. You are a passageway for those slain for God. You are fellow initiates with Paul, the Holy One who received the testimony and proved worthy of all fortune. When I attain to God, may I be found in his footsteps, the one who mentions you in every epistle in Christ Jesus. Oh, sorry. That was letter to the Ephesians. Sorry.
Okay.
That's right. Because he's being exaggerative. He's writing to the church of Ephesus, which, some people say that was Paul's favorite church. He was big. He was very happy with them.
Okay.
And so when he says, Paul wrote all the time. Okay. So we have Ignatius. We have Clement. Ignatius thinks he was martyred. Clement just says he was martyred. Then we have Polycarp.
Oh, no.
So this is what I'm saying, man. It's like everybody, all the big boys from the early church, like early church, are writing about it.
Yeah.
Polycarp says this, and which letter is this in from Polycarp? Okay. He says, therefore, I urge all of you to obey the word of righteousness and to practice all endurance, which you also observed with your own eyes, not only in the most fortunate Ignatius, Zosimus, and Rufus, but also in others who lived among you, and in Paul himself and the other apostles. You should be convinced that none of them acted in vain, but in faith and righteousness, and that they are in the place they deserved with the Lord, with whom they also suffered. For they did not love the present age, they loved the one who died for us and who was raised by God for our sakes. So, really early theological claims in this letter that we don't have time to get into, but the Polycarp saying early on, died for us, we're talking about Jesus, that's, I think, worth noting. Sure. But also an elevation of Paul and the apostles very early on, another example of that. So there was a clear distinction of authority, and they knew the apostles had authority. But pertinent to our discussion, Polycarp also mentions Paul's death.
Mm-hmm.
So Irenaeus wrote his most famous work against heresies. This is Sean McDowell at the end of the 2nd century. So we're going to look at Irenaeus, and this is about 180 or so. This is Irenaeus' writing. Matthew also issued a written gospel among the Hebrews in their own dialect, while Peter and Paul were preaching at Rome and laying the foundations of the church after their departure. Mark, the disciple and interpreter of Peter, did also hand down to us in writing what had been preached by Peter. So, there's, of course, because he says departure, someone's like, oh, well, actually, that just means they left. Well, no, we don't, we're not thinking so. He's talking about Peter and Paul were preaching and their departure. So they died. Now, I think right then and there, I'm going to go ahead and just jump to it. We're not jumping to the end, but we're jumping to our first claims, which is Paul died in Rome under Neronian persecution.
And he was martyred.
Martyred, yes. Martyred in Neroni under the Neronian persecution. Yes.
Yeah. I mean,
this is the most amount of evidence that we have for anything that has happened to the apostles.
I was just going to say, like, that's it is an interesting thing that there can be a good amount of speculation and, like, you know, some confusion around a lot of the apostles, but Paul is so central. It's like, nope, we all know. We saw him. I saw him die. I saw it. Yeah. It's 100%. Like, the fact that it's like, yeah, these are like heavyweights. Yeah, it's like Polycarp, Irenaeus, Ignatius, Clement. Like, these are like all of the heavyweights of the 2nd century. And they're all like, oh yeah, Paul died Paul 10 days ago.
Yep, done.
Yeah. So that feels, unless there's some mass conspiracy, it feels pretty reliable. Yeah,
well within the window of living memory. So I'm very comfortable making that claim. Now, I want you to get a little nervous.
Here comes Bart.
No, the beheading.
What if Paul was actually crucified? What if he was beheaded upside down? They just cut off his legs.
Dude, poor Bartholomew. They did everything to that guy. Don't give him more ideas. So, yeah, now we have to look at like the actual one. And this is where we got very sad and disappointed with Peter. You mean to tell me he wasn't crucified upside down? Do you mean to say that maybe Paul wasn't actually beheaded, Taylor?
See, but who cares? Beheading's not cool. Crucified upside down is cool because there's the story, there's the lore. There's no lore in beheading.
We care. Gosh, John. We care because this is what we were taught in Sunday school.
Well, yeah, and that's why I'm curious. Why were we taught that? Where did we get the idea that he was beheaded?
I got you, baby.
That's what I'm saying.
And this is where Taylor's research almost destroyed him. There's a little thing called the Acts of Paul. I have had
A-X-E of Paul?
Acts.
Okay, sorry.
A-C-T-S. Man, I'm people are like, yeah, Taylor, no wonder you had problems researching. All right. McDowell references, he talks about Acts of Paul. That's where the first beheading is. Acts of Paul is mostly late second century is the dating. Now you're like, okay, well, where's the difficulty come in? I cannot exaggerate, and any of our listeners that have decided to take us up on our encouragement to go read some of the pseudepigraphical Gnostic writings, you would have easily found Acts of Andrew, Acts of Peter, what was it? The Acts of is it Martyrdom of Bartholomew or Acts of Bartholomew? The one we read last week.
I thought it was the Acts.
Yeah, Acts of Bartholomew. You would have easily found those. Shout out New Advent. Anywhere. Let me tell you guys, the Acts of Paul, not so. Particularly, there is one story that McDowell references, and if I ever see him and get to shake his hand in person, I'm kind of hoping he's going to be at ETS this year. You know, just hoping. I'm going to give him a hard time that he sent me on this wild goose chase. He mentions, just in passing, I'm going to just read the quote. Where is that? Oh gosh, I can't find the quote. Basically, he just throws out quickly that there's a story in the Acts of Paul about Paul baptizing a lion.
Oh, let's go.
And I'm like, heck yeah, dude. I stopped reading McDowell immediately, went straight to open up Acts of Paul and start reading. Oh, here's the quote. Acts of Paul clearly does contain some legendary material, though, such as Paul baptizing a lion. And then he lists a couple other examples. But I went straight to trying to find this. And for 45 minutes, you gotta remember, I'm almost done with my MDiv.
Is this the Acts of Paul and Thecla?
That was another part of it. It's also referred to as that, and it has different names. And Thecla is a whole nother legendary character, and depending on which manuscript you're reading, Paul's hardly in it, and it is just Thecla, which is this lady who gets martyred, and the beasts attack her. That's a whole nother wild story. But
oh wow,
I tried so hard to find this, and it went from, okay, what's his source? Well, he just says Acts of Paul 14. So I go to that. I'm like Googling Acts of Paul, Acts of Paul. Also, Google's trying to be like, did you mean Acts? Did you mean Acts of the Apostles? And they just keep throwing that at me.
Yeah, I had that thought.
So, okay. So I'm like, all right, I actually have to turn on my research brain. You know, I'm almost done with an MDiv, so I've had to research a little bit in my life. I go to our library, our website, Gateway's library website, and now I'm looking at pseudepigraphical like collections, and I'm ripping through the ones that we have digital at light speed, trying to find Acts of Paul, and all of them have this same account that was available on earlychurchwritings.com, which does not have the lion story. And so not only I found it on Google pretty quickly, but it didn't have the lion story. So I'm ripping through trying to find this. This is probably at about minute 20. And I finally get to a Bart Ehrman book, and I'm like, am I about to like thank the Lord for Bart Ehrman? Is that what's about to happen? And stinking Bart Ehrman does the same thing McDowell does and says,
like no source.
Some of the manuscripts have this. Anyway, here's the rest of the here's the manuscript you already found, Taylor. And he even has a little parentheses in his. He goes, some manuscripts, which we are not referencing here, have the story of Paul baptizing a lion.
I think there's just private manuscripts that we're just not allowed to read.
Yeah.
They're for the scholars.
I'm reading a summary of this. This is so hilarious. Listen to this. Upon coming out of the water, the lion shakes the water out of its mane, turns to Paul and says, "Grace be with you." Paul replied, "And also with you."
But Tommy, before you get to it, I found something that we can read.
Okay.
So on peshertechnique.infinitesolutions.com.
Oh my gosh, dude, you need to call your boy and get your
copyright
computer scanned for virus.
You have to go to the dark web for this.
Listen, copyright 2005
Tor /
2005 / 2007 Dr. Barbara Tearing.
Okay, all right.
Shout out Barbara.
Shout out Dr. T.
Do we know anything about Dr. Barbara?
I didn't have time to research it because it took all my research time finding this.
Spell tearing.
She's got it. She's got it. She's got it pulled from THIERING. Stop making me spell, please.
You're fine. You did a great job.
That time. All right. Henneke Volume 2 is where she is pulling this from. And then I went to try to find that from our website, and I think it's written in German. So I have no idea if Tearing translated this from German. So here we goes. This is when Paul was walking towards Jericho. There came a great and terrible lion out of the valley of the burying ground. But when I finished praying, the beast had cast himself at my feet. I was filled with the Spirit and looked upon him and said to him, Lion, what do you want? But he said, I wish to be baptized.
Base lion.
I glorified God who had given speech to the beast and salvation to his servant. Now there was a great river in that place, and I went down into it. And then she does not record the prayer. She just does a parenthesis saying he offered a prayer referring to Daniel in the lion's den. When I had prayed thus, I took the lion by his mane and in the name of Jesus Christ immersed him 3 times. And then here's your quote, Thomas. And when he came up out of the water, he shook out his mane and said to me, Grace be with you. And I said to him, and likewise with you. And the lion ran off to the country rejoicing. A lioness met him, and he did not yield himself to her, but ran off. It's a chaste lion.
And did not yield himself to her.
Yeah. He's like, get away from me. I'm a man of God.
So
I'm a lion of God, you harlot.
real son of Mufasa over here.
Converted to celibacy. I know. So
that's so good.
Shout out Dr. Barbara Tearing. Did you find anything on her, John?
I did. Apparently she's actually very controversial.
Really?
So she seems like she had quite a splash. She was an Australian historian, theologian, and exegete, but her kind of claim to fame is that she developed a technique for reinterpreting the New Testament stories through the Dead Sea Scrolls, which led to her making some really absurd and very unliked interpretations of the scriptures. And there's a quote from N.T. Wright from 1993 where he said, "It is safe to say that no serious scholar has given this elaborate and fantastic theory any credence whatsoever."
Dang.
So
you got N.T. Wright just slaughtering you publicly. You probably did something wrong.
Yeah. In the
Taylor,
90s,
this might bring you a little relief as to why you couldn't find it. This thing that I'm reading says that story comes from the appendix to the Acts of Paul.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and it's only in like one Coptic manuscript or something. So
that is really interesting. Okay.
But that's the same source, my friends, that the beheading comes from. But let us turn to the story of the beheading. Man, I had my page set up, and then in my frenzy trying to find the stupid lion story, I can find it. I can Control F is our friend. Okay, here we go. This is super interesting. Okay. So I'm going to let you guys make this this claim. And or not claim, but a revelation, if you will. I'm just going to start reading. So this is Acts of Paul, the main fragments that we have translated that are not difficult to find. And a certain Patroclus, a cupbearer of Caesar, came at even unto the grange, and not being able, because of the press, to enter into Paul, he sat at a high window and listened to him teaching the word of God. Guess see where we're going? But whereas the evil devil envied the love of the brethren, Patroclus fell down from the window and died. And forthwith it was told unto Nero. But Paul, perceiving it by the Spirit, said, Men and brethren, the evil one hath gained occasion to tempt you. Go out of the house, and ye shall find a lad fallen from the height, and now ready to give up the ghost. Take him up and bring him hither to me. And they went and brought him. And when the people saw it, they were troubled. But Paul said, Now, brethren, let your faith appear. Come, all of you, and let us weep unto our Lord Jesus Christ. This lad may live, and we continue in quietness. And when all had lamented, the lad received his spirit again, and they set him on a beast and sent him back alive, together with the rest that were of Caesar's household. So we've got some behind the scenes narrative, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can you guys hear that beeping?
Yeah.
I don't know what
it's Brandy putting something in the microwave.
No. Can you close the windows, Brandy? Oh, it stopped. It's probably a neighbor's fire alarm or something. Nothing to worry about. Not big deal. Okay. Now we return. But Nero, when he'd heard of the death of Patroclus, was sore grieved. And when he came in from the bath, unnecessary detail, he commanded another
on the toilet, just so bummed out. Dude.
He commanded. After he finished his number 2.
Yeah, he's like, dang it, I'm so mad. As soon as I'm done in here, it's over.
As soon as I finish this dump, I'm gonna.
So basically, what this is saying: when Patroclus died, they send somebody to Caesar, and Caesar's sad. Nero being Caesar. But his servants told him, saying, Caesar Patroclus liveth and standeth at the table. And Caesar, hearing that Patroclus lived, was affrighted and would not go in. But when he went in, he saw Patroclus and was beside himself and said, Patroclus, livest thou? And he said, I live, Caesar. And he said, Who is he that made thee to live? And the lad, full of the mind of faith, said, Jesus Christ, the King of the ages. And Caesar was troubled and said, Shall he then be king of the ages and overthrow all kingdoms? Patroclus saith unto him, Yea, he overthroweth all kingdoms, and he alone shall be forever. And there shall be no kingdom that shall escape him. And he smote him on the face and said, Patroclus, art thou also a soldier of that king? And he said, Yea, Lord Caesar, for he raised me when I was dead. And Barsabbas Justus of the broad feet, and Urian the Cappadocian, and Festus the Galatian, Caesar's chief men, said, We also are soldiers of the King of ages. And he shut them up in prison, having grievously tormented them, whom he loved much, and commanded the soldiers of the great king to be sought out, and set forth a decree to this effect, that all were found to be Christians and soldiers of Christ should be slain.
So I've got kind of competing thoughts in my mind. My general thought is this just obviously sounds like a warmed over version of what happens in Troas with someone of a different name. Where Acts 20, somebody falls out of a window, a boy falls out of a window, Paul raises him to life. This is supposedly happening now in Rome with someone of a different name. It just, to me, I'm going to let my skepticism kind of run wild and go, this sounds like somebody had heard part of the story and they're making it up. But then the part that makes it sound a little bit more verifiable is it lists like all the names of all those soldiers.
It goes back to the same thing we've been repeating, which is the legend. Just because something is legendary and has that in it does not mean it's devoid of historicity.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
And so
that makes sense.
So there might be the legend developing around Patroclus, right? Who fell and was resurrected, and now he serves Jesus, and all the people that were there serve Jesus now. And then Nero kills them. And then let me jump to the beheading. So Caesar finally gets Paul, and then you jump to the end of 3 here, and it says, and when Caesar heard that, he commanded all the prisoners to be burned with fire, but Paul to be beheaded after the law of the Romans. So our source for Paul being beheaded seems to have some crazy stuff in it. But it also has, like you said, some historical details. So what do you do with that? What do we do with that? We don't have anything like that in Peter being crucified upside down. That was written well out of the window of living memory. If you remember, the Acts of Paul is end of 2nd century, so it's a lot closer.
Sure.
Well, the crazy stuff is actually something that actually happened just at another time. So if it happened again, fine. But it's different than like a talking dog, ran in the room and proclaimed Christ kind of thing.
The crazy stuff
really
in this is the lion talking and wanting to be baptized.
No, I guess. Oh, I see what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But that was an appendix, so maybe it was written later.
But okay, here's my thought here. The reason I would naturally be suspicious of Peter being crucified upside down is because, like we said in the beginning, like the lore behind it is inspiring, but it's not reasonable. Paul being beheaded sounds reasonable because he was a Roman citizen,
which is exactly what the text says. All the other people that weren't Roman citizens, Nero's like, and get the butane.
Mm-hmm.
But
I really like your point about like how legends work and how there's truth in them, because we also have internal evidence in the scriptures for that would be the right recipe for this. So in the end of Philippians, Paul, writing at the end of his life, is greeting the church in Philippi, and he says, also, the people in Caesar's household say hi, especially them. They say hi.
Yeah.
So he had very likely converts who worked with Caesar. So I could see a scenario where, like, well, did the boy falling out of the window thing happen again? Maybe, maybe not. But people, maybe Nero having an encounter with people who were close to him, and he finds out, whoa, you're saying Christ is Lord? Excuse me? Mm-hmm. No. That seems extremely plausible.
That is exactly right. And that is why I am so happy to put a bow on our whole series with a
dub.
With a dub.
A dub
so
for tradition.
Paul was in Rome, highest possible probability. Martyrdom, very probably true, is how McDowell ranks it. Martyrdom during reign of Nero, more probable than not. And beheading of Paul, more probable than not.
Let's go.
Nice.
We
4 for
finished,
4,
and we
baby.
did not plan. I did not plan it like this, but the church tradition got one right now.
Nice.
All right. Tune in next week as we talk about how Polycarp was never really killed. Right, Taylor?
Stop. Oh, no. I wouldn't dare. That's so
This is just the beginning.
No, not it.
This is just the beginning.
I don't want to be a textual critic anymore.
Not martyred. Perpetua and Felicity, not martyred. Also,
that sounds like, I don't want, the word blasphemous is too strong, but the word disrespectful is not strong enough.
Slanderous
is good.
Did you guys do an episode on Perpetua and Felicity?
We did.
Okay.
Tommy did that one.
I might have to go back and listen.
We did
to
a pair. What was it? We did a pair of ladies and a pair of guys. Who were the guys, Thomas?
Sergius and Bacchus.
That's right. And those were both early martyrs, weren't they? Yeah.
Pretty early.
Yeah, we've done, and then Polycarp was one of the first episodes we ever did. That was like our 3rd episode.
Martyrdom of Polycarp is horrific. But I love it when he says, what's the emperor that's like, what's he trying to get him to say? Not the emperor, but
away with the atheists.
Yeah, he's like, say away with the atheists. And Polycarp's saying, away with the atheists. Can I go now? And then it's like not enough for him. Yeah, man. We don't have time to get into that and go back and listen to that. But
yeah. I just love, one of the things I still remember from that episode, because Thomas was the one who led it, was just the smell of bread after he had been burned. Just like this wafting bakery smell that just emanated from his place of execution.
That's when they knew they messed up.
Yeah, they were like, crap, dude. We didn't know we had a bread guy. So, yeah, amazing.
But there you have
good
it,
stuff,
folks.
Taylor.
Thanks, man.
Good job, man.
This was a
Minus
fun
that
series.
one really good episode that I did. You did a good job.
You did a good job when you did your episode.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm tooting my horn.
Yeah.
Boop, boop, boop.
No, boop,
Yeah,
boop.
that was fun. You rocked this series, man. You did a good job.
Thanks.
All right, now I think we can officially say, ladies and gentlemen, Taylor Treadway is a part of our podcast.
Hey,
What?
you made it through the crucible, big dog.
What?
You didn't know that was all a tryout.
Yeah, welcome.
Now Thomas and I have to invite you to the real group chat.
Well,
I hate this.
yeah.
I don't like this
New
joke.
chat.
I'm over this joke.
Oh, JK. You've been with the
I
big
know,
dogs
dude.
for a
I've been
while.
on for like 8 months now.
That's crazy.
I
No, not 8 months.
I
really?
think so. I don't know. Someone can check.
Someone can check. All right. Well,
LM,
we were
check
talking
for
about
me,
this
bro.
earlier. Gosh, we were talking about this earlier, but we're going to as of today. So today, i.e., whenever this episode is dropping, so that'd be Tuesday. So today's Thursday, Wednesday. I don't know. Whatever day on the 20-something of October. This day is going to be the last day of voting for the new series. So by midnight tonight, we were going to cap it off, tally the votes, and we're going to pick. We're going to be kind of bouncing around for the next few weeks. We're going to do probably a Halloween-themed episode for the end of October. We're going to do an episode probably on the Pilgrims for Thanksgiving, something kind of nativity themed for Christmas, and then we'll probably take a couple weeks off, and then we'll be back with our new series.
Ooh,
So
I want to
stay
do one
tuned.
on Boniface and the first Christmas tree.
Oh, that's a good
There
one.
you
I
go.
like that. Okay. All right. That'd be fun. All right, gang. Well, thanks so much for listening. We love you guys a lot. As always, feel free to leave us a kind review, a nice little 5-star. Hit follow on Spotify or wherever you listen. And we'll be back next week with more goodness.
Bye-bye.